Good morning, everybody, and this is your Dow Jones day trade setup for today. And I think before we sort of kick into the chart, I just want to highlight something, a little bit of trading education, if I may. So, whenever we are below the moving averages and we start forming a base, normally you talk about a rounding bottom, but it's always very volatile. And you can see how volatile this is. And if you look back, there was our previous low. So for all intents and purposes, we are making a series of higher lows, but we are kind of just hovering, and we're not getting through this 35 or 51 area. But whenever you're below the moving averages like this, you tend to get this volatility where the tails are down and etc, etc. So if this was a pullback onto the moving averages and we're on the opposite side of the moving averages, you would see the converse true. You'd see lots of tails, but you'd see the body closing higher to the upside of the candle. And that always gives you the confidence, okay, this is a great opportunity to buy, and then you get. But you're looking at this, part of you will be saying, well, this is a rounding bottom. We are making higher lows, and you start applying everything that's in the textbooks, and more than often you sort of get burnt because it'll stretch for this 34,140 and then plummet back down again. So that's just something you need to pay attention to. When you see structure like this, you need to be above the moving average as well, just to get the confidence that your trend has turned. At the moment, you are below the moving averages. You are slightly in a downward trend, but more than likely you're in a range. And we've spoken about that in depth over the last couple of weeks. One thing I want to highlight is the weekly. So look what happens whenever we get to this area. We get all these tails. This is all the buyers coming in. Are they accumulating stocks, or are they buying and then selling and then buying and selling? So they've already identified where the range was last year already, and they're just trading that trade at the moment. That is a very distinct possibility as well. So for me, weekly trend is up. We're in the zone, tail to the upside, tail to the downside. No real direction on the weekly, no real direction on the 8 hour either. And if we come to the 3 hour, this week is clearly being sideways. There is absolutely no structure here. This is the level we need to recapture. That's 34,140. If we can recapture that, build a base on that, then I would be looking for a weekly range break pretty much, and I'd be looking for something like that. Let's just put a level in there. Look to the left, you can see there was some support found, there was some resistance there. That would be the area 35,170 would be the move to the upside. Now if we just drop down to the hour, now you'll see yesterday I said I'm sitting on hands, which probably was a wise thing to do, but we did break through this area. So this is my current line in the sand. So we're looking at 33,724. We get back to here, build a base. Looking at a crossover here on the moving averages right now. That is a 2-day range break. So come back, test it, and then I'm looking for the height of the range. Now, height of the range is pretty simple. There it is there. I'm just going to be a little bit conservative, just something like that. The reason I do that is just to ensure that I do get triggered. And there's our likely target up there. Okay, so what you're looking for is first 34,140, and then you're looking for 34,340. So that's kind of the trade that you have on offer. And the idea today is just to wait for that pullback onto structure, and let's just do this on the 15-minute, because that is where it's going to play out. Be wary though, you've got all these gaps. Look there, there's a gap, there's a gap, there's no one there. There's a very small one there. So you've got some 15-minute gaps to the downside. Oh, there's another one down here, right down there. So yeah, be careful. Possibility of you coming all the way back down to test the bottom of this range is also very, very possible. So as long as you're above the moving averages like they are now, and the one that you need to pay attention to is really the 155. So long as you're above the 155, you're looking for opportunities to buy into this. And that's on the 15-minute. Keep your stops tight. At the moment, your stop would be around this 33,790 area, just below there. And you're looking for pullback on structure for a move to the upside. Now, there is lots of little bits of structure. Prices actually hovering. Look at these tails here. And then you've got that fractal there. So prices hovering around here at the moment. That's 33,950, 33,945 area. And for as long as it hovers around there, it's trying to build a base. And it's actually, what it's trying to do is stretch for 34,140. I expect a rejection of that area back down. So that's kind of the scenario that I would look to play out this morning. Nasdaq stocks had a pretty strong run yesterday, which is going to filter over to some of the German stocks. So you probably see the DAX sort of bounce up a little bit. It should hit some resistance. There is quite a bit of resistance about overhead for the DAX, and then bounce back down. So that's what you're waiting for. You're waiting for that bounce back down, that confirmation that this break is genuine and it's not just a fake out. And we're going to find support down here at 33,725, and then you're looking for a move back up 34,140. If you get through that, then 34,340. If that doesn't play out and we just break above 34,140, I'd wait for the retest of that area before jumping in long. So it'll probably break through, hit the top here, come back, build a base here, and then just going on to the US Open may actually just build a base here ready for a move up. So it does look interesting. It really does look like we're having a potential reversal, but it's not something which is clear, and this really doesn't excite me at the moment. So it's just too much noise in the market at the same time. So that's kind of my view at the moment. I'm looking for a little bit more confirmation before looking for a jump to the upside. But if it does happen, then we have a pretty solid range formed, and then we know where the upper end and the lower end of the range is, and it's going to be pretty easy to trade that over the next couple of months. Anyway, guys, that's kind of my view this morning. Really still cautious, just waiting to see what is going to transpire. I need some big levels tested, and we're not getting them. So until that happens, I am really cautious and more or less sitting on the side, just waiting for a break. But that break, by the looks of things, is pretty close. Anyway, hope it helps, and we will catch up with you on Monday morning. Enjoy your weekend.